This is Infrared, and we're at the far west end of Dyckman Street, so that you don't have to be. It's Sunday, July 24th. Sorry, it's Monday, July 24th. It just seems like a Sunday, but it's Monday, July 24th, about 6 p.m. So what are we looking at? The far west end of Dyckman Street. On our left, this arch bridge carries the northbound Henry Hudson Parkway traffic, and this highway to the right carries the southbound traffic. And sandwiched in between is a support building that looks like it was built, maybe as a substation for the I&D lines, Art Deco 1930s. It's a support building for this railroad line, the New York Central's freight line, down the west side of the Hudson, down the east side of the Hudson River. And this freight line, continuing all the way south, brings Amtrak trains to Penn Station. But if you were to continue in a straight line beyond Penn Station, you would pretty much be on the High Line, which this structure originally served. Its original purpose was to bring freight trains down to the west side of Manhattan. There was a railroad yard between 72nd Street and 59th Street, where trains were further sorted, or some of them were unloaded, and then some trains continued down what is now the High Line, and pretty much all the way down to where the High Line currently terminates. Okay. And I hear the sound of a diesel locomotive in the background. So it's likely, and it seems to be coming from the south. We're heading north right now. So it's coming from the back of us, and probably a northbound Amtrak train. And it's a few minutes after 6. I haven't memorized the Amtrak schedule. Oh well. So much for my sense of directional hearing. Kind of like a scene in the movie MASH from 1970 when... Never mind. Here's a northbound train. Did not deceive me. Oh yeah, there's also the Hudson River. So we entered this park. I don't know what the official name of the park is. Shame on me. At Dyckman Street, which is more or less 200th Street. In fact, well, in my introduction, I should have said a couple things. You can see it's a pretty clear day. The temperature has been in the low to mid 80s, but feels like the upper 80s. And that background noise, if you can hear it, the constant hum of auto traffic. It is indeed autos on the West Side Highway. Now, I think, no. They were on separate structures before, and when the Henry Hudson Parkway crosses the Henry Hudson Bridge shortly, as we're intending to do, northbound will be on one level and southbound will be on another. And I think northbound is on the upper level. I don't remember, but I think the pedestrian crossing is pedestrian and bike, but dismounted bike. The lower level. Railroad signal bridge for Amtrak. We are, conveniently, you are here. Something that is a bug of mine because it's missing from Prospect Park. That's all. I'm guessing this stairway and pedestrian bridge over what's now the Amtrak line, what used to be the New York Central freight line, was built around the same time as the line itself in the 30s. Or Was this part of Robert Moses and making parks out of the upper west side? So, if only we had been up here like 5 minutes ago, we would have seen two trains passing each other. Oh, and now we see why the northbound train was moving slowly and waiting for the southbound to clear. Okay. The path less traveled. Monday at 6:16 p.m. Hey, when you see a fork in the road, take it. All right. All right. Taking the right fork. I guess they want to preserve the wildness of this because supposedly this is like the last wild place in Manhattan because Central Park was landscaped. But a few more directional signs would be appreciated. Of course, what happened to these signs? This looks like the tolling bridge for the Henry Hudson Bridge. So here's the southbound traffic coming off the bridge, the Henry Hudson Bridge. Here is the tolling bridge. Above us, the northbound bridge, and under this overpass or overhang, I think the Bridge Administration Building. Maybe you can see a train just rounding the curve, a Hudson Line train to Croton Harmon, just out of sight now. So Robert Moses built this bridge. And I believe The second deck was added later. I don't know whether the second deck is the one that we're on, the lower deck, or the one above us. So let's go a little slower, pause, and woo! There's buffer stripes on the road here. But I don't want to bet my life on them. So perhaps you can see the two towers of the Broadway lift bridge, which is now number 1 train is going northbound over it from Manhattan to the Bronx. And then I have no idea, it looks like a major hospital or university or something up there. Sorry. Oh, look, here's a southbound Amtrak train. That's a train from Chicago. You can tell there's sleeper cars and a baggage car. Right, so it just went over the Spuyten Duyvil bridge. It's not a lift bridge. It's not a drawbridge. It's a swing bridge. And again, that was built to carry freight trains, but it now carries the Amtrak trains from Albany and north and west to Penn Station, starting or having operated since the spring of 1991. Before that, Amtrak trains from Albany and beyond went to Grand Central. And below, that's the Spuyten Duyvil station. Metro North's Hudson line. The Metro North Spuyten Duyvil station, the Amtrak Spuyten Duyvil swing bridge, and the community of Spuyten Duyvil. So on the roadway, you see the yellow Metro North service vehicle, and then you see 3 buses, which I forgot what the brand is. 4 buses. It might be called Hudson Rail Link. It's a service operated, or at least provided by Metro North. Because as you can see, the station's down here and the community is up here. it's a pretty steep climb. So, Metro North provides a service that meets each arriving train, and I don't know, I think connects with the number 1 train. Whoa! At their 225th Street stop. Their first stop in the Bronx. Or is it? And here is another Metro North train from Croton Harmon, not stopping with Spuyten Duyvil. How's the water, dearie? Up ahead, exit 18, Hatbox Street, the first exit in the Bronx, or is it? I guess we'll go this way. So, why have I raised all this ambiguity about Hatbox Street being the first exit of the Bronx, or is it the number 1 train stop at 225th Street? Is its first stop in the Bronx, or is it And right here, we have 2 signs. Welcome to the Bronx. Current enough that it has the current Bronx borough president's name on it, Vanessa Gibson, who's been in office a full year and a half. He was signed here, the Bronx. Here, I think, is one of those Metro North connection buses, railing, Hudson railing. I remember correctly. Let's walk up here. All right, well, I'm going to explain the mystery. So we're looking back south at the Henry Hudson Bridge connecting the Bronx here to Manhattan on the other side. And we cross the East River at its intersection, nearest intersection with the Hudson River. So, the East River, or the Harlem Ship Canal, as it's sometimes called in that section, was rerouted, I think, by Robert Moses. I'm not sure about that. But I think in connection with building the Henry Hudson Bridge. And so, like, the ship, the canal used to run, let's say it used to run here, and here was the dividing line between Manhattan and the Bronx. So, but when the canal was rerouted, it kind of extended mainline Bronx a bit, a few hundred feet. I don't know what the total area is, but it's legally, officially, that section that's now separated by the rerouted East River is legally still New York County or Manhattan. So, eventually there's a way to cross here. There's got to be. So I've driven on this section of the Henry Hudson Parkway many times in both directions. Never really paid attention to the frequency of pedestrian crossings over or under the parkway. I guess enhancing the appearance of the parkway, there are very few pedestrian bridges. should build more pedestrian bridges, Mr. Moses. And the same legacy firebox you see in parts of Manhattan and Brooklyn. I don't know about Queens, and I'm guessing almost certainly not Staten Island. We'll make that the subject of another walk sometime. You might be wondering, since most of our walks begin with us getting off some kind of public transit vehicle or some big transportation landmark like Grand Central, how did we get to where we started today's walk at Dyckman Street, at the far west end of Dyckman Street? We took the A train to the second to last stop at Dyckman Street, at Dyckman 200th Street, and walked just a few blocks west on Dyckman, past many lovely restaurants and outdoor cafes. So, the A train to Dyckman, you can take the 1 train to Dyckman also. You just have to walk a little further. Well, finally we have a crossing over the Parkway. So we are in the Riverdale section of the Bronx. That's nice. Want to see, sometimes in the steepest part of the Bronx they have step streets for pedestrians only. They're publicly maintained steps that go down steep hills. Is this one of them? Is this a step street here? Look at that. So I was saying before that the rerouting of the river it left some New York County acreage, square mileage, attached to the Bronx, but the attached acreage is still Manhattan. Now, as far as I can tell, the former northern boundary was at approximately 230th Street, or about 2 blocks south of here. We're at 232nd Street. This is a park with a bonus shopping cart. Oh, we're at the corner of Cambridge and Oxford. Huh. Cambridge, Oxford, and 232nd. So these are planes landing at LaGuardia, and we should be hearing this noise overhead for, well, about every 2 minutes. Let's turn east on 235th. Hope it takes us to a train that can take us back home. Hey, Riverdale Avenue. Yeah. All right, Riverdale and Fields then. the name of two neighborhoods in this area.
Et bah là, j'ai bien. Oh, got it. When you were out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be using that. Pero eso no me jode. Y la vetusta, no, medio. Yo he ido para allá a mi training session. And then go to the gym. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, a step street, or is it privately owned? Manhattan College, of course. And the Van Cortlandt Maintenance Yard, I'm not sure what the official name is, for the number one train. This being part of the original subway line. And that maintenance yard was built sometime after 1904, but not too much afterwards. Further adding to the confusion that started a few minutes ago about whether this is the Bronx or Manhattan. So here's part of the maintenance barn. It looks kind of old. So I'm going to let you in a little secret. At the bottom of this hill should be the end of the line of the number one at 242nd Street, Van Cortlandt Park. So that is where we are going to board the train home. So I just want to recap where we walked today. We took the A train to Dyckman 200th Street. We walked a few blocks west on Dyckman, and this is where we began the video. At the western end of Dyckman, where the Henry Hudson Parkway crosses Dyckman, we walked through the park and up to the pedestrian lane on the Henry Hudson Bridge. We crossed the Henry Hudson Bridge from Manhattan, well, in retrospect, from Manhattan to Manhattan. Think about that. Think about that when you pay that toll on the Henry Hudson Bridge next time. From time to time, there is outrage expressed over the MTA's Cross Bay Boulevard Marine. I'm sorry, the Cross Bay Bridge, and it has another name too, which escapes me right now. What I believe is the only toll bridge that connects two parts of one borough. Connects the Rockaway Peninsula, which is part of Queens, to what I like to call mainland Queens. But so from time to time there's outrage, why do we have to pay a toll to move between parts of the same borough? So what about this? Henry Hudson Bridge delivers you from Manhattan, not to the Bronx, but Manhattan. And here we are, 242nd Street, Broadway, Van Cortlandt Park, and also the beginning of several Westchester County B-line routes. So, with this original circa 1904 stairway leading up to the end of the line on the number one train, this is infrared. I guess where he goes from red light is just a suggestion. And this is what you've been watching.